Nick Saban shook up the college football world recently when responding to a question about name and likeness, saying schools like Texas A&M and Jackson State bought every player they have. Jimbo Fisher fired back by saying it's despicable that a reputable head coach can come out and say this when he doesn't get his way. Needless to say, Coach Saban opened up that can of worms and is going to have to deal with it. The New Orleans Saints are looking to have one of their best off seasons in many years. It seems that the Saints have taken Garth Brooks' advice and have called Baton Rouge. Saints this offseason have signed two former LSU stars in Tyrann Mathieu and Jarvis Landry. This will mark the first time the Saints have rostered two-star LSU players since 1993, when they had both Dalton Hilliard and Eric Martin. Both Mathieu and Landry are hoping that their homecoming finishes with raising a Lombardi trophy. As some would say, one team's misfortune is another team's fortune. With the Lakers struggling down the final stretch of the season and finishing with the 8th worst record in the league, the Pelicans have reaped the rewards by taking back a protected lottery pick from the Lakers. It would seem the ping pong balls have fallen in the Pelicans' favor yet again. The Pelicans will be selecting 8th in the 2022 NBA draft, leaving the Lakers without a first-round pick yet again. With OTAs and even minicamp coming up for the Saints, many undrafted free agents will be trying to make the 53-man roster. One name many Louisianians should be familiar with is wide receiver Dejon Dixon. Dixon, born and raised in New Orleans, playing his high school football at Edna Carr, then enrolling at Nichols. During his time with the Colonels, Dixon caused opposing defenses headaches. After his 5 years at Nichols, he finished with 35 touchdowns and over 3,800 yards. He also broke Nichols' record for career receiving yards, touchdowns, and receptions that was previously held by Mark Carrier. It's safe to say that Dixon's accolades speak for themselves. Now he has a chance to make the roster for his hometown team. The Saints kick off their first preseason game this Saturday against Baltimore. This will be their first preseason game without Drew Brees on the sidelines since 2005. The Southeastern Lions football players are hoping with all their performances today that it will help them get drafted at the end of the month. The Pelicans this season are hoping with all the offseason moves that they have made that they can reach the playoffs for the first time in 4 years. Several of Southeastern's best competed today in front of NFL scouts at their annual pro day at the Saints practice facility, hoping to be the first Lions to be drafted since Harlan Miller in 2016. The star attraction for NFL scouts at Southeastern's pro day was the towering 6'7" quarterback Cole Kelly. Kelly has been gaining the attention of NFL scouts as of late and is rising up draft boards. The former Walter Payton Award winner really dazzled scouts today with his big frame and rocket of an arm in hopes of adding to their team's QB room.
I thought it went pretty well. We had a lot of guys out here, a lot of teams come watch, and appreciate all them coming. Appreciate the Saints organization for letting us use that place. Man, it's beautiful over here, and I feel good about what we did.
Once the starting QB at Arkansas, then transferring to Southeastern, where his career finally took off, tallying over 8,000 yards through the air and over 70 total touchdowns.
I think I've made my biggest strides at 3 years I spent at Southeastern. Having Coach Selfa and Coach Stevens there to kind of help mold me and teach me things. And I think just the growing up part I did on my own too, with my teammates and stuff like that.
The Southeastern Lions football players are hoping with all their performances today that it will help them get drafted at the end of the month. For Blue Crew Media, I'm Logan Graffia. Throughout training camp, the main talk for the Saints continues to be who will be the one to fill the shoes of Drew Brees. Jameis Winston and Taysom Hill have been duking it out for a few weeks now, but neither thus far have edged each other out in this battle. As both look to take the reins at the QB1 spot, Taysom Hill has gone over some things that may help him in the battle going forward.
There are three things that I pay attention to. The decision making, was the accuracy there, was it complete, incomplete, and those are what I evaluate.
This is the first training camp in 15 years where there are major questions at the quarterback position, as well as others. And it's not just for those competing for a starting job, but also those looking for a spot on the roster. Coach Payton talked about how he plans to divvy up the reps and evaluate each player throughout preseason.
It's just a matter of, we'll meet tonight and tomorrow night on the rotation, how we're going to play these guys. And, it might be one of them doesn't play as much first week, plays more the second, and I'm talking about even our down-the-line players.
The Saints kick off their first preseason game this Saturday against Baltimore. This will be their first preseason game without Drew Brees on the sidelines since 2005. This will certainly be one of the most interesting seasons in the Sean Payton era. For Blue Crew Media, I'm Logan Graffia.